Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a beautiful evening with the ANC president. Just few house rules. Please, make sure your phones are on silent. The hashtags for these events are hashtag vote ANC, hashtag let's do more together, hashtag I vote ANC. This event is broadcast live on the ANC and PBF social media platforms.
Okay, you do it. 1, 2, 3.
Distinguished guest, give it up for DJ Siyanqoba.
Come yeke bakubizikire mani na ungumuntu uzovukani welele ngobese yekukubiza abanye abantu izilwane nabanga abantu uzofuna nini helele maphoyisa yeka nokubiza abanye abantu amakafula nabanga abantu nizocaba nini timlela toti yekukukwaza abanye abantu ngemimese nabanga abantu uzokhula nini Leko yetu mina kangiboni Iboni kazi letu Elikitwa ngesanda setu Langanani Yegananu kumone nana Isisa siyasihleka Ladelani zilutando Helele chileshe Ungabayeki bakubizikire mani na ungumuntu uzovuka nini welele ngobese yekukubiza abanye abantu izilwane nabonga abantu uzofunda nini yelele mabhunu yeka nokubiza abanye abantu amakafula nabonga abantu nizozama nini timlela toti yekukukwaza abanye abantu ngemimese nabonga abantu uzokhula nini helele sonke singabantu
Tambolam le Kentucky, Sambrella Sami, Sambrella Sam Selamas, to Sami, so Chiga Madireni, our mama. Whoa. Welcome Dover, baby. Stop some samana. Itanda no move water, baby. Yo, yo, yo. Shoes, baby. You're born now when a baby is all up. Whoa. Kibeli E20, a Calton Center. Still mama. You show me love, you're on love, you're mama. You're Pumula, baby. And Terry, love you. Stop some samala. Kitanda no move water, baby. Yo, yo. Love you want me, boy. Whoa, mama. Whoa. One chinda kukumana. Nafana ne self-raising. Sama twali strati. Nafana no mapala. Whoa, mama. Whoa, love you. Whoa, baby. Whoa. Welcome Dover, baby. Stop some samala. Kitanda no move water, baby. Yo, yo.
Honored guests, kindly take your seats. We are about to begin. Honored guests, please, kindly take your seats. We are about to begin. Honored guests, kindly take your seats. We are about to begin.
Hai bati shebeleza njaloma ekuseni ma unantambama Hai bati shebeleza njaloma ekuseni ma unantambama Ai Congo mame burn out. All my love gonna burn out. All my love gonna burn out. All my love gonna burn out. All my love. I can feel you, how you break my heart, keeping me holding on too long, too long. Yeah. Let me tell you one more time. Tonight, I'm gonna hold you till you cry. Hold you till you cry. Tonight, I'm gonna hold you till you cry. Hold you till you cry.
If I don't love you, I missed the mark. So it all comes down to love. Stephanie, come and join me on this one, wherever you are. Oh. We're gonna teach you this song. Come on, sing it. I said, oh, 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 oh. It all comes down to love. Oh, oh, oh. That's the only word. Let's sing it again now. I said, oh, 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 oh. It all comes down to love. Oh, oh. Michael, you can come join me on stage too. Listen. Said talking heads talking to us on the television. Silver screen preachers, politicians say they got the answers first. They want to squeeze us. Send a little money, what a tax on Jesus. Fix it with the prayer, fix it with the dollar. Anybody out there ever want to holler? Oh, 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 oh. It all comes down to love. Oh, oh, oh. That's all I want to say is oh, oh. I can't hear you. It all comes down to love. Oh, oh, oh. Second verse says, self-help guru got a bestseller. Talk show host got a drag queen bank teller. 1-900, look into the crystal. The NRA says you better buy a pistol. Made a little pill, but it might cause cancer. Just a cheap thrill when looking for the answer. Now tell them the answer. Oh, 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 oh. It all comes down to love. Oh, oh, oh. You loving me, me loving you. Oh, 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 oh. It all comes down to love. Oh, oh, oh. Third verse says, suits on Wall Street, they make another million. Dinner on the back street, talking to your children. You cry for help, nobody listens. You lay awake at night, wondering what's missing. Who can put an end to all the confusion? Open up your heart to the only solution. Oh, oh, oh. Remember it all comes down to love. Oh, oh. Say it again, say it again, say oh, oh, oh. It all comes down to love. Oh, last verse, when I I was Africa. I said, sing it up in Joburg, tell it in Soweto, sing it in the gold mine and in the ghetto, the blood of Hector Peterson, crying for apartheid. Tell it in Washington, the dream will not die. Bishop Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, they only want to tell you. They only want to tell you. Said it all comes down to love, yes it does. Don't ever forget it. We got to love one another. Down to love, yes it does. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. It all comes down to love.
Guests, please give it up for DJ Siyanqoba for that amazing set. And now, please rise as we welcome the leadership of the ANC. remain standing as we will sing the national anthem and AU anthem sung by the Matthews Choir, who won the Eastern Cape Choral Festival hosted by the ANC. Thank you, honored guests. You may be seated. A round of applause again for the Matthews Choir.
Sekuyiminyaka elikhulu elinesumi elinesibili lo mbutho wasekwayo. Mbutho ndini uyi-ANC owasekwa ngenjongo zokukhulula ababandezelekileyo phantsi kwesandla senkohlakalo, isandla samabhulu. Mbutho ndini waphuma wayehlathini wayokuqeqeshwa eqeqeshela ukubuyisa isizwe kwinkululeko. Kulo mbutho othi wona uze nezicwangciso zokuba thina sizuze izindlu, sizuze amanzi, ukuze thina sifumane abantwana bafumane imfundo ebusimahla. Yi-ANC ekufanele thina siyivotele ukuze yona iphucule intlalo yabantu abakhubazekileyo, amama nabantwana. Kulo mbutho olela amapakisi ukuze thina sizuze. Halala ANC, halala.
Angola, 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 Angola.
Distinguished guests, please welcome on stage your MCs for the evening. A woman who wears many hats, actress and author Rami Chueni, and multi-talented actor, boxing commentator and presenter Leslie Musuna.
Kinara, Kinara ya Mfotso, Tanzania, 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 Kinara.
Thobela.
Dimatekwana.
Ah.
Reperili,
Abusheni,
Lochani,
Molweni.
Sanbonani,
Ela yengwe ye reng e?
Huyenan,
Aha.
Dumela.
Dumelang, re lo tshitse. Sepedi, you must do it twice. Gaspedi. Good evening, extinguished guests. Welcome, welcome. Let me first welcome the National Executive Committee of the ANC under the leadership of the President, Cyril Ramaphosa. Yes. Okay, we were practicing, ne? So allow me to say it one more time.
Okay.
Please, let me first welcome the National Executive Committee of the ANC under the leadership of the President, Cyril Ramaphosa. Yay! Yeah, ikwareji. And also in our midst, of course, we have our Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile.
Amandla.
Ke kopa volume, ne? Volume. And the national chairperson, I'm told you don't just say Comrade Gwede Mantashe. You must never. You say Malume. So welcome, Malume Gwede.
Ramzama 2000 Atlarki Uncle Gweezy.
Yes.
And guess who else is here? The Raz, the Taz, Razmataza.
Oh, yes.
Comrade Figile Mbalula Mbax, Mbawizi.
Bawizi.
And the reason you kind of feel some action, like feel action again. Do you feel action? I don't want any feel action. But let me tell you why. The reason you're feeling action is because Mama Action is also in the house. The first DSG, Comrade Nomfula Mukonyani.
Yay! Les Bona.
Yeah.
There's this place, ne,
Yeah.
in Limpopo. You go past it like as you're heading to Venda, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if you know which I'm talking about, which place I'm talking about.
Okay, I'll swear.
Yeah.
Oramo N1, ne?
Yeah?
Bona. Umo N1.
Yeah.
Monna.
Ekwa.
Bona.
Hey.
Kunali off ramp, no. There's
Yeah.
off ramps,
Yes.
like on ramps. Ukara
Yes.
Gauteng.
Yeah.
Then as you off ramp, ne?
Yeah.
There's a mall on your left.
Yes.
Then what am I? Ukara ka bo Brayu Masikela,
Ko
ne?
Isleben.
Isleben. How do you
Yeah.
fit Isleben? Ke Ramokgopa.
Aramukhupha tong. Ongata, you know exactly the place.
No. Of course I know the place.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you go high. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Duh. Anyway. No, Mararvalenity, the ANC is really working, guys.
Yeah?
The ANC is really working. I mean,
It is.
malls everywhere, the RDP houses everywhere. Divala Antonina.
Exactly. So, which is why I need to mention the second DSG. Marupeng Ramokgopa.
Oh, by the way, we've just been informed that the president is not here.
Joey.
We are happy to have all our other dignitaries here tonight. Marabona, Ramza, bona. Pela, awusho nje uRamkgopa oyi-1. I mean, ku top 7, we have 2 Ramkgopa.
Please. Emanyana. This thing, you don't just like.
Oh.
You can't just clap it together all in one.
Okay.
For the protocol wa tlhaloganya. Exactly. The ANC Treasurer General, Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa.
Okay, all right. So are we done? Are we done, ka protocol?
I never. Anyway, distinguished guests, let me also welcome the NEC. The NEC members, the alliance partners, the leagues.
No, at least, we are accommodated, Runa, the Youth League. Runa Bacha. Raw, Young Lions, raw.
Okay, I was actually going to say the Women's League, Marake, since, okay, Nika, the Youth League, let's just leave it there.
No, at least, I'm young at heart, but in reality, I'm a veteran, yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. Then we have the Veterans League. Like it's even over 45. And of course, the military veterans. We have our guests as well from the business community and the endorsers who are going to endorse the ANC tonight.
Yeah.
This evening.
One more time.
Vele. Okay, and then we also have the sporting fraternity, the academics, the professional organization, the creative industry, and of course, the media.
Of course, Lira, abalingi, so bona bombango,
Whoa,
Real
not that
Housewives.
kind of media. Okay, no, not that kind. So it's another soaping, please. No. I'm talking about the news, the actual journalists, current news, and the likes.
Hey, man, do we have journalists here tonight? Aren't they supposed to be, resting so that they can prepare for tomorrow's Siyanqoba rally
Yeah.
for FNB Stadium? No, I mean, I'm sure we're all going to be here. Ne? Like all of us here, we're going to be there tomorrow. I get it.
FNB, tomorrow, FNB Stadium. Cheers. I mean, I'm not going to miss it. I'm going to be there.
Oh, okay. Linda, I'm going to be there as well. Yeah. Definitely, this rally is one for the history books. Amazing that it's happening on Africa Day, the time when we reflect on the unity, diversity, and strength of our continent. Africa Month is not just a celebration, but a call to action, reminding us of the immense potential we hold. When we stand together, we will be trending tomorrow. I'm telling you.
Yes, speaking of trending,
Yeah.
please remember we are broadcasting live on our ANC Facebook page, our PBF, social media platform, Sakir. So those of you who know how to take a picture, pose for the camera, and you want to post, please do that, and please use our hashtags. Hashtag
Vote ANC. Hashtag let's do more together.
Hashtag I vote
ANC.
Yes, those are our hashtags.
Okay, going back
Yes.
to the order of the day. We are in Sandton again at the richest square mile in Africa, which means it is only congruent and fitting that we call upon Gauteng Provincial Chairperson, distinguished Jens. It is an honor and privilege to invite on stage Comrade Panyaza. I'm a Panyaza.
Bakalingana noni yabelinge
Amandla. Long live the African National Congress. Long live. Thank you so much, program directors. The President of the African National Congress, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa, the national office bearers present here, members of the National Executive Committee, the entire leadership of our alliance structures, former Deputy President Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, ministers and deputy ministers present, premiers and MECs, executive mayors and MMCs, the entire leadership of our leagues, religious leadership, traditional leadership, business leadership, and all those are representing various organs of government and organs of civil society, our endorsers, honored guests, comrades and compatriots. On behalf of the Gauteng Provincial Executive Committee, we come here to appreciate you. On behalf of the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC, we come here to welcome you, not only in our province, but at the home of the African National Congress. Victory, we can smell you. Victory, we can touch you. Victory, we can embrace you. Victory, we are so ready for you. Today's event demonstrates one thing and one thing only. At least we know who's with us and who is not with us. In my home language, they clearly state it when they say, Sinkhanang Sintulamroalo. Even if you can insult us, we are ANC. Even if you can try to ridicule us, we'll remain ANC. As we enter the doorstep of our Siyanqoba rally tomorrow, we are sending one strong message, one powerful message. The 3 votes represent 3 powerful colors, black, green, and gold. And we are very clear, victory is certain. Siyanqoba, welcome to the beautiful province of Gauteng. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, let's welcome to the stage First Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Nomvula Mokonyane.
Thank you very much, Program Director, national officials of the African National Congress, leaders of the Tripartite Alliance, leaders of the leagues of the African National Congress, representatives of the Mass Democratic Movement, members of the Diplomatic Corps, friends of the African National Congress, members and supporters of the African National Congress, a very good evening. We are gathered here tonight on the eve of Africa Day, on the eve of a Siyanqoba rally, mo re kgalemang lenyatso. We gathered here to come and show off that it is only the ANC that remains a people's movement and a liberation movement, a leader of society, because of many, many of you who are here tonight. We are humbled by the fact that many of you have made a choice to be here, to be part of what has become a tradition in the movement, that the night before the big rally, Siyanqoba, after having traveled and crisscrossed the country, we gather here and come and hear representatives of different sectors, individuals, as well as organizations, and of now late, of course, abotintswalo, speaking out to affirm that, yes, indeed, it is only the African National Congress, only the African National Congress, with its manifesto, with its tested 112 years, and with its challenges that it is determined to overcome, that together we can do more. So sila namhlanje rimoka sheku to come have different activities that are going to be showcased here, made in South Africa, by South Africans, enabled by the policies of the African National Congress-led government, and of course, children of the ANC. And thereafter also, we will have our president who will be speaking to us and just give us the tidbits of his speech that he would be charging all of us to go and use those 3 ballot papers properly, starting on the 27th, the 28th, and the big day, the 29th. So this is what we are doing. You are going to be seeing different constituencies that have traveled with the ANC for over 112 years, different generations, and we wish you the best in terms of enjoying. And let's move from here, family and friends, bring them, take them out to go and vote for the African National Congress. But for tonight, thank you, siyabonga ukuthi you are here, and please also witness those who are bold, those who are beautiful, those who are determined to come out and endorse the African National Congress, representing thousands and thousands of South Africans. That is the purpose of tonight. Let's enjoy, let's have fun, let's celebrate and embrace the African National Congress of Albertina Sisulu, of Oliver Tambo, and Nelson Mandela and Peter Mokaba. Once more, welcome and may your vote take us forward. Thank you very much.
Siyabonga, siyabulela. Thank you so much, Comrade Nomvula. And next up on the program, we have something unique for the ANC. A chance to celebrate our merchandisers. They make us look great for all occasions.
Govoni. We will now have our own range of designer wear available, for when we want to step out and want to show up at our events. So you can get this brand on the PBF or e-commerce. PBF e-commerce platforms. Please do not forget to take pictures so you know what you're going to order. Now, here is the PBF runway show.
Please put your hands together for the ANC in collaboration with PBF Runway Showcase, presenting the House of Ndoni. From the house of Ndoni, please welcome Siyanqoba. Presenting the house of SM. From the house of SM, please welcome Sibu Simong. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the president.
Parama, parama.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can now take your seats. Presenting the Xavier Fashion House. From Xavier Fashion House, please welcome Zama Kumete. presenting the Silomo Bouquet Fashion House. From the Silomo Bouquet Fashion House, please welcome Silomo Ndombela. Presenting the house of Kapu and Wolf, represented by Elias Chambu. From the house of Kapu and Wolf, represented by Elias Chambu, please welcome Maik Noah. Presenting the house of Original U Fashion. from Original U Fashion. Please welcome Caroline Leketi. A round of applause, distinguished guests, for the PBF Runway Showcase.
Botswana, 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 Inara, Inara ya Khotso Lira. Botswana, Botswana.
Our Leboga, thank you, PBF team. That show was amazing. Hey, yes, absolutely, I agree. And remember, the merchandise will be available on the PBF online stores at PBF e-commerce.
Mara Ramza. ANC, fashion shows, Di Balantonina, we are trending. That exquisite that exquisite fashion showcase was brought to you by a child of democracy. The president will be proud of this one. Distinguished guests, let's put our hands together for our very own Tintswalo, a former Miss SA finalist, Mbali Jamini. Au, Sibalkulu.
Next up, please welcome on stage Titi Luzipo. As her path unfolded, she has found herself gracing stages and collaborating with some of the greatest names like Judith Sipuma from the sultry elegance of Somi and the timeless mastery of George Benson.
From the revered Ntate Kaifa Semenya to the captivating Judith Sipuma, Mamlet Mbuli, and Thandiswa Mazwai, she intertwined her harmonious with their greatness.
Distinguished guests, please, let us welcome on stage Titi Luzipo and the band.
Tina Sizwe, Tina Sizwe, Esimya, Sikalela, Sikalela, Sikalela Izwe, Ela Tatwa. Sizwe simnyama sikhalela 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 izwe tena tatwa sitima.
so much. Thank you so much.
Hello, Manyo. Hello, Anasuye. The Kalaki Kokoto Munyapong. Dintori Talukaning. He will check at the city. Second level, Massimum. Comunitati Shakala Tate. Tumela Uba Muratua.
Tula di ville foam, suku di kesa, tini kesa logo tinga, suku kama, baby wami, tula di ville, shegelanga, empumalanga, lichore tonalanga, you sit and be so same, sabatalo, tula di ville, dipendule.
Matati Arisia Halichama Muchavela Haliwela Nisubati Nako Ayameli Naniwela
Itumela naliwena Kineti Nako Ayameli Mutu Imba babari Asi babari Kuwana gila Tusadma
Mtagwatu kita hela muti ya muke fumana bana kutono kutoti bana dipendule 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 dipendule
Pendule, pendule. Pendule, pendule. Pendule, pendule.
Thank you so much.
Fellow South Africans, it's been 30 years since we took our first steps to freedom. Since then, as South Africans, millions more people now have access to housing, water, sanitation, education, and an improving social security system. We are renewing our state institutions and turning the tide on corruption together. We are building safer communities and working towards universal access to healthcare for all. We are promoting equity and transformation for an inclusive economy. We're building a better Africa and a better world. So let's do more together. Vote ANC.
A round of applause, distinguished guests, for Titi Lucipo and the band. And now, please, welcome to the stage.
Viva ANC, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Maibuye ANC, maibuye! Maibuye ANC, maibuye! His Excellency President Ramaphosa, national officials, NEC members who are here tonight, Chairperson of the province, oi oi, oi oi, distinguished guests, stakeholders that are here and leaders and captains of the industry. My job is very easy here tonight. Tonight, we are meeting, as our first Deputy Secretary General has said, this is pre-Siyanqoba endorsement event. We are here to hear and listen to all those who stand with the ANC. We know them, we see them, and we are with them. And ANC, only the ANC, will become victorious on the 29th of May 2024. His Excellency, we're going to start with our endorsers. We've got very limited time for our endorsers, who will speak very briefly for about 2 minutes. And I'm going to keep the time very tight, so that we hear the message they have to President Ramaphosa as well as the ANC. As we gear up, see ready, we are ready, and we are going to win the elections this year. I will start with the first endorser, which is Mangele Nkosi, who's going to come, and all the endorsers who will focus on why they are voting the ANC, what is their commitment to voting the ANC on the 29th of May, and also how we call on everybody to join this movement in voting for the ANC. Let me bring on stage Mangele.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Mr. President, the future is black, green, and gold. My name is Mangele Nkosi. I am a business leader here in South Africa, and I vote ANC. Since 1994, beke libeke. Since the end of apartheid, the ANC has been instrumental in implementing policies aimed at redressing historical inequalities. This includes significant investments in housing, healthcare, education, as well as land. The ANC has implemented policies to stabilize and grow the South African economy. Well, we have mixed results, but the economy has grown. Mr. President, in 1994, the size of the South African economy was 139 billion US dollars. Today, this economy is estimated to have grown to around 399 billion US dollars. This reflects a significant increase over the past 30 years period, indicating substantial economic growth and development. ANC has promoted economic inclusion and empowerment through Black economic empowerment policies, and this is what matters most. The ANC has developed and maintained social welfare programs that provide support to millions of South Africans, such as social grants that benefit the elderly, the children, and disabled individuals. Bagaetsho, the ANC government has made stride in improving infrastructure, including electricity, load shedding, ifedile, water supply, the transportation network, particularly in previously neglected areas. We acknowledge that there are some inefficiencies, but only the ANC can take South Africa forward. I therefore urge all the South Africans to vote the ANC on the 29th of May. Siyanqoba.
Thank you so much. I'm going to call 3 of the endorsers so that we move faster. I will move and call the 3 endorsers. The next one, which will be Professor Pitika Ntuli. And we will also be joined by Dr.
And also is that we are in a situation in which we don't hear any clear-cut move from anybody else. When I said I was coming in here, somebody from another organization was so angry. He said, "Why are you going there?" I said, "The ANC has invited me, and we have not invited me, because all in all, I do not like people who get involved in Mubango even if agnostingo. So vote correctly and vote ANC."
Good evening, my President. Good evening, distinguished leaders, and good evening, beautiful members of the ANC. Amandla. My name is Dr. Dalsira Kumakwe. I'm the CEO of Quad Care. Quad stands for Quality, Accessibility, and Dignity, which is how we believe South Africans should be accessing health care. That is why we say yes to the NHI. That is why we say yes to universal health coverage. We currently own a network of clinics across the country, 13 now, 30 more in the next 2 years. I'm also a proud member of the LGBTI community. Amandla. Yes. And I'm the head of QueerWell. With QueerWell, we provide access to free mental health care for the LGBTI. You do not talk about universal health coverage and leave the LGBTI behind. We say yes to the ANC. Let's unite and move forward together to create a better South Africa for all of us to live in. Amandla, vote 29th ANC.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Honorable President. Ladies and gentlemen, my plea is very simple, that everyone around me and all of you should vote for ANC. And I'll tell you why. With the background that I have, people were addressing the financial side, the business side of things, and then the medical side of things. I need to represent the sporting side of things. Over the years, when I started playing, you can imagine, we got so frustrated playing against the same opponents for years. And every time the big boss would come to the change room, that was the Chiefs, and he says, "You must beat Pirates." And he says, "But we've been beating them." Now came the changes. And the changes got us to meet our counterparts outside South Africa and around the continent. And that's obviously because of what ANC has done. But over the 30 years, ladies and gentlemen, I have to admit that ANC has faced a lot of challenges. And they have, and they are still working hard on those challenges. And I would urge you to be as resilient as you've been over the years. And I'm sure that you will do well on the 29th. You know, I've always said people will have opinions, but opinions don't change the world. The examples change the world. ANC, you have set examples we can see. Re supa nakedi ka Setswana, re se ke tiro ya ANC, but you can still do better. Yes, there are challenges, but you can't please everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you the best, and I will encourage everyone to, even people in my circle, to vote for ANC. I'll tell them that you have a choice. The first choice is to vote ANC, and the second choice is to vote African National Congress. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Mapanyan. And the third choice is to still vote for the ANC. 3 ballots, let's remember that. I'm going to bring 3 more endorsers. The first one will be Riaz Gari. Let's bring him on stage. And he will also be joined by Nokolom Seleku. And the last of the 3 will be Vivian Reddy.
Good evening, Mr. President, the NEC, and all distinguished guests. It's nice to see you again. My name is Riaz Ghani. I am the CEO of the KitKat Group and the co-chair of SAIBA, the South African Indo-Afro Business Association, an association that would have not been allowed to be formed had it not been for democracy. I am an entrepreneur by profession. And I can narrate so many stories in the last 30 years where as entrepreneurs, I know my forefathers were never given the opportunity to trade in this country on a fair and equitable basis. The last 30 years has given us that opportunity. Of course, we've had our challenges because you know, the ANC has tried very hard to change this country over the last 30 years. But naturally, to change people is going to take a lot more longer. And I think that's what the masses of the country that are against the ANC don't understand. That it takes time to change people. And for that to happen, it's going to take generations. You know, I was actually having a discussion with a foreign friend of ours from the UK. And it's all about programming the mind. And that's where the ANC has really done a good job in trying to market the country, change it for the good. So there is no party but the ANC. And that's my vote. Thank you. Thank you.
Viva ANC, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Ladies and gentlemen, before I start, let me observe our protocol. Greetings to Your Excellency, Mr. President Cyril Ramaphosa, and the Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile, and to all the Executive Committee and all protocol observed. My name is Nokolom Seleku, born and bred in a small town called Ilovu, Durban in KZN. What an honor to be standing here before all of you. What a time to be alive. Starting out in the industry as a business owner 4 years ago, I never imagined I'll be here today supplying 5 local brands on a monthly basis. Not to mention having experience owning a store in Sandton, the richest square mile in Africa, and employing 4 amazing young jewelry manufacturers. This is why I say dream, African child. Let your dreams scare you. Because in the world we live in, anything is possible. Let them call you crazy. Anyway, you almost need to be insane a little bit to have blind faith in what you can't see. My journey in the because I don't have time. The ANC has done so much for me. Since my second year of varsity, I was studying under a bursary with the Mining Qualifications Authority. And then after that, I got an opportunity to go and study in Italy for 2 years. This is all because of the policies that the ANC has implemented in this country. Yes. Amanda! I brought a gift for the president. So this was manufactured by Elegante.
Right, good. Right. Good evening, Mr. President. And for those that don't know me, I'm not Visvin Reddy of the MK party. I'm Vivian Reddy. To get that clear, I actually had to send a personal message to the president. I'm just an electrician from KZN that somehow did not get my wires crossed and managed to make it in life thanks to the ANC. And I know many of you in this room know that I've been trending big way in South Africa for the last 48 hours because of my stand against someone that made some comments against my dear wife, Surisha Naidu, from the Real Housewives. And, when it was a principled stand, and I took that stand as it was the morally right thing to do, and it's the same position I'm taking tonight. It's unusual for business persons to openly endorse a political party, but I've been doing so since 1990, and I'll continue to do so. Why, ladies and gentlemen? The ANC gave us our freedom, and its economic policies made it possible for me to open casinos, joint venture with major international business entities, and the list goes on. And by doing so, I created thousands of job opportunities and support over 200 welfare and community organizations in KZN. The organization has been honest in looking at itself critically and is making genuine attempts to reinvent itself, learning from its mistakes. I have very influential friends who have created their own political parties. That's their democratic right, and I respect that, and they will still be my friends like so many other leaders of the opposition party. It's just right, but I do not have blind loyalty. For me, I'll be voting with my conscience, which says, let's give the ANC another chance, and I don't believe that coalitions, no matter how well-intended, will work. We as business want economic stability and continuity, and it's only the ANC can give us that stability. The ruling party has a long heritage of leadership and strives towards a better future for all its citizens, and let's support progress and unity by endorsing the ANC in the coming elections, and I know I'm going to cast my vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vivian. Our blood is black, green, and gold. My next set of endorsers, I bring on stage Gogos Koteni. I bring on stage Eric Munyai, and I bring on stage Koli Butelezi.
Thokozani. Thokozani. Standing in front of you is a young traditional healer. My name is Dumi, known as Gogos Koteni. I'm a traditional healer. I'm a businesswoman, and also I'm a mother. The reason why today I'm standing here is for me to tell you what the ANC did for me. The ANC allowed me to become a traditional healer in Africa and abroad. I have clients internationally, and I can go to them with my herbs. I'm allowed to cross the border. I'm allowed to give you a sick note when you come to my practice. I'm a qualified traditional healer who has initiated over 1,000 students under my name and under my calling. Today, I say everyone should vote for the ANC. I'd like to thank my mom and my dad who made sure that I stay true to myself. I'm not going to allow myself to vote for angry political parties. The ANC was blessed by our forefathers, therefore, I urge everyone to vote for the ANC. Thina as abantu baku-ANC asoze saphela amandla. Thina soze saphela amandla. Asoze saphela amandla. Leli bandla elaka ANC. Asoze saphela amandla. Thokoza, ngiyabonga.
Iyahlaba lendlela. Iyahlaba sizozabala. Iyahlaba lendlela. Enamefa sizozabala. President, all protocols observed. My name is Eric Munyai, the founder and general secretary of SATU, the South African Taxi Drivers Workers Union. Sikhona labo driver! Sikhona labo driver! Viva SATU, viva! Viva COSATU, viva! Viva SSCP, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Siyabasaba na! Sizosaba uvota na! Sizovota! Comrade, I'm not going to take long, but anyway, we will definitely win. The taxi drivers, they don't have to worry anymore. Taxi drivers have got people to make sure that they are there to be seen each and every time. As you know, that taxi driver doesn't have benefit, but the taxi industry itself, with South African Taxi Drivers Workers Union, they are going to make it sure with ANC to make sure that the benefit of the taxi industry workers is being implemented. So we thank you very much, ANC. We know that you never been, you tried by all means to make sure that the taxi, everyone who is a worker in the taxi industry, trying to have to be having a benefit. But right now, you must understand that we must stand taxi drivers. The Santaco, viva! Viva NTA, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Asambeni siyavota!
Good evening, everyone. Sanbonani molweni. Botani mawetu dumelang huenant. I'm African, so I'm also acknowledging everyone in the room. Igama lami ngukholo kaButhelezi Sibongo, born and raised the KZN, but ke ngokuhlupheka ungihambisa zonke indawo ngcine sengiseJoburg lapha engikhona manje. I'm standing here representing the sex work sector. I am the national representative of the sex work sector, also the CCM and the Oversight Committee. Today I'm standing here because I know that the community that I represent as the founding member of the organization that was founded in 2003 still exists today because of all the support that you have gave that comes from you. But also to say the contribution that our president has made towards making sure that the recognition of the sex workers' lives in this country, it is recognized. I am the first African woman, I would not say black, because sometimes when I'm saying black, I feel like I'm stigmatizing myself, but I'm African. I'm the first African lady to receive the sunflower from the president, acknowledging the work that we do in the country in making sure that the sex workers' access to healthy and human rights are ensured. Distinguished guests, I greet you this evening in the spirit of Ubuntu and love from all the sex workers in the country because they are human beings. On behalf of the sex workers, I come before you to acknowledge the great strides of the democracy in the country, which has offered us an opportunity to undo decades-old struggles, but also which includes the criminalization of sex work. We count as a progress for the well-being of the sex workers in this democracy because of the current sex worker NSP developed in our capability as the sex worker within the sex sector, within the 18 sex work sector civil society, which the plan that was launched by the president that time, he was the deputy, it was 2016. And the prioritization of aiding the marginalization of communities and accessing healthy care and adopting the desk of various constituencies. The country progress in language development, no longer calling sex workers as prostitutes, but calling sex workers as sex workers. And this one goes out to 7th administration. We urge the adoption of the Sexual Offence Act amended bill into the law and regulated into the next zone of the country. And we acknowledging the NHI because our lives are also included in that. Amanda!
In 30 years of democracy, let's not forget where we come from with our African National Congress.
Everybody will vote for the ANC. Leave no one behind. I will call the next batch of our endorsers. We will have Mluleki Zazini. We will have Simon Chivumbu. And we will have, on behalf of BBC, Elias Monache.
Aguna
Amandla. Good evening, Comrade President. My name is Mluleki Zazini, the National Director of NAPWA. NAPWA is the National Association of People Living with HIV and AIDS. I'm also the chairperson of the HIV sector within Sanang. President, I think let me take this opportunity to thank you for signing the NHI bill into law. This is the first step towards closing the gap between the rich and the poor. We take NHI as a medical aid for the poor. Mr. President, as people living with HIV and AIDS of this country, we are sending the ANC to the 7th administration in government to do the following. One, we want to see the African National Congress within the administration of the 7th administration to make sure that we introduce policies that talks about anti-HIV stigma. It's been decades crying as people living with HIV that was stigmatized by our families, colleagues, everyone in this country. So we need the African National Congress to address it in the next administration. Number two, we want the African National Congress to go back to the National Assembly to conclude on what we have started on it cream sex work. Number three, we want the African National Congress to go back to e-government and introduce policies that talks about integration of healthcare services for people that have chronic conditions. Number four, we want the African National Congress to go back to e-government and introduce healthcare policies, dispensation of EARTs for 6 months for people that are stable to their treatment. Lastly, Mr. President, we want the African National Congress to address issues of food security for people living with HIV who are on treatment, who have no source of income. Mr. President, come the 29th of May 2024, I am going to vote for the ANC. So on that note, I'm calling upon millions of people living with HIV in this country to vote for the ANC. Civil, Mr. President, that there are organizations that are saying once they go to e-government with next elections, after next elections, they are going to reverse everything. We are saying to people living with HIV of this country, go there and exercise your right, vote for the ANC, defend this democracy. Amandla!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to you, Mr. President. My name is Simon Shibambu. I was born in Johannesburg and grew up in Rechtersloot in the Northwest Province. I am a professional opera singer. In 2013, I was doing my final year at Tshwane University of Technology, a vocal arts department, and I was funded by NEFSAS. I wanted to do my postgraduate degree in London. Subsequently, I entered a local opera singing competition hosted in Durban by Njabulo Madlala, another South African opera singer based in London. Through hard work, I managed to win the competition in Durban and got invited in London for auditions at the Royal College of Music, one of the world's best music colleges. Unfortunately, I didn't have the finances to travel to London, accommodation, and food for the duration of the auditions. My mother tried her best to help me, but she couldn't manage to finance everything. And we went to the Department of Arts and Culture for help. Fortunately, my application was approved, and my dream was about to come true as I successfully attended the auditions. I was through the department concerned for South African potential that I successfully enrolled at this prestigious music school. And today, I stand as one of the most best opera singers of South Africa globally. Thanks to the ANC government for such programs. And this gratitude is not mine alone, but the many Tinswalos out there whose lives have been transformed by the party. That is why I vote for the ANC. Not just for myself, but for my entire lineage. I also want to encourage all artists to vote ANC so that the ANC can do more in helping all artists. I also want to request the government to do more in recognizing all South African opera singers, locally and abroad, as we collectively representing the country very well globally, consistently. Lastly, I also plead with the government to help local opera companies to do more in increasing jobs for local opera talents which can export globally to showcase the wonderful work the government of South Africa is doing. The success of these artists is not for their own glory, but evidence of the good work the government of the ANC does behind the scenes in benefiting lives of the people. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Elias Monache, the president of the Black Business Council in the country. I represent more than 2 million black businesses and professionals in the country. Because of the ANC, for the past 30 years, we have managed to talk about inclusive economy. We have talked about a transformatory agenda in the economic spheres. It is for the ANC for the past 30 years that managed to talk about the trade and investments both in the country and in the continent. It is the ANC that brought Africa Free Continental Agreement. It is the ANC that brought the participation of South Africa in the broader BRICS configuration. It is the ANC that managed South Africa to participate in the broader G20, the B20. It is the ANC that brought the AGOA in the shore of South Africa. It is the ANC that creates a conducive environment to do business. It's the ANC in the whole continent that managed to house more than 150 ambassadors and embassies in our country. It's the ANC that brings stability in our economy. It is within that context that as the Black Business Council, our members and their families, they will vote for the African National Congress. It is for that reason that our members and families will vote in the 3 ballots, African National Congress, for the first, for the second, and for the third. And victory is certain. The last thing that we want to urge the president to do before this last days of this administration is to sign the public procurement bill, because it's the only bill that will give certainty for black people then to do business in this country. Thank you.
Something that we must forever nurture and defend. In 30 years of democracy, let's not forget where we come from with our African National Congress.
As I call the last 2 people who will speak on the podium on behalf of endorsers. President, I want to say we have more endorsers, but we don't want to take the whole evening. Outside, we had what we call the green carpet, where many other endorsers spoke, and even outside this room, across South Africa, many endorsers are saying they're going to vote for the ANC. Now, I'm going to call the 2 legends who join many other legends who are here. But I will call on stage Mama Mary Louie, as well as Mara Louie. Mom. I'm going to call Mama Mara Louie. Mama. And then I will call as well Umama Lillian Dube to join me on stage. Let's welcome them with a round of applause.
Oliver Tambo, Osibambu Masiyegeli, Oliver Tambo, Osibambu Masiyegeli.
I can't hear you. Amandla. Viva me lighty, me broer, me chommy, me scatterball. Cyril Ramza. Kintwana yaka. Can I remove this mic? Except Cyril. Who's it? Except Panya Panya. Apanya. Eh, na intwana yam. Yeah, we no. Stand up a biki. I go, yeah, kibata o charge a khalik sabun. My action. Kidintwana zakasi. Marantwana yaka khulu is the boss. Nali na watsi bori. Never tsame jole ka di wipe ne. Obane re di taka. Comrades, my name is Mara Low. Libutsela ka la Sotho ke Teboho. Ke motaung wa hlalele sebata wa ntiti ya morapedi ya nwang besela kgomo ye tshwa. Petu ile kana mla. Jwale ka le bona petu ke ena ke ya pere. Ka jeno ke emi mona. Hobane my first opportunity to travel around the world and to be seen by kings and queens and to perform for Queen Elizabeth at the Palladium Theatre and to be asked. I got a call from Brawali Sirut. Armara, you must come to London. Madiba has just been released. And you must join a group of artists from around the world at Wembley Stadium. In 1990, April, Tata came out in February. In April 1990, I was on stage at Wembley Stadium, representing my country, performing with Whitney Houston, Patti LaBelle, and we were all the same lineup. Because now I give you second half. No, I don't take second half. One thing I know, my first opportunity to be seen around the world was made possible by Tata Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress. Today, I can proudly say I've been in show business for almost 60 years. I can proudly say I have performed for almost all presidents. After Tata Mandela, I performed for Tata Mbeki, I performed. Marje me like Ntwana ya ka Cyril. Jy mos nog nie mee gesê. Ek sê kom bietjie sing vir my. Wat gaan? Jy gaan because Siyanqoba. Like it or not, Siyanqoba, the artists need to be taken seriously. We need to start focusing on our artists. Panyaza, thank you. Panya Panya, he invited us for a meeting and we are carrying on. I'm pleading for my artists. I'm no longer young. I'm not going to be a hit in the next couple of years, but I'm going to be staying alive. And the only way is to make sure, and I'm asking, Kabui Kokoret, let's make our artists have a little bit of dignity by having a member in the artist industry that is probably retired, maybe like me, or anybody, to be part of the Department of Arts and Culture. We have people like John Gani, we have people like Maralo,
We have people like, you name it, who are no longer performing artists, who can be in that department to make sure that they keep things together, to make sure they advise because they know the pain of the artists who are starving, who are dying hungry. I am asking Kikopa Kabui Kokore. We are winning. Amanda!
Tambo is the longest serving president of the African National Congress. Oliver Tambo.
Kgotsong. Ngiyavakala.
Uyavakala ma.
Enkosi kakhulu. Kgotsombo. Jwale ha ke tsebe bane president wa rona e kare ke Rabaneka. Ke batla o mo hlompha jwang motho a ntse a etsa so. Okay. A ke na taba nna ke jolla le panyasa. All Bana beso 30 years kaofela le ka je ku president a rona ha tsebe o bina fela ke tsebe re ANC tla wina jwang a o so practice hle president bana beso ke thabo ho nna ba ngona ke le hlompile kaofela ho ba reng ANC ha ya sebetsa nna ne ke le teng kuku ene e le nyane. No, ke ntse ke puta. Kuku ene kgolo. Kuku ene arolela ba banyane. Ka je ku lena kuku inyane e fuwa ba bangata. Jwale ke mkhona le sa boneng hore na ntse re etsang. Jwale as an artist rona ha re sebetsa re a rehearsa. So it was 30 years of rehearsal. Jwale ha le tloa mona action. And action eo e tla qala ka hore ntate le lekoko la hao le ha di cinema makoitchining bana ba di baskopo le di cherry tsa bona le di oats tsa bona, and by so doing rona di actors tla fumana tjhelete le di ushers kaofela e tla ba mosebetsi hobane hona kwele le di cinema tsena tsa makgowa ba hana ra di etsa di movie ha di hlae ke Leon Schuster fela. Ha ke na ho bua hatelele ke batla fela hore ka nnete ke a leboha. Jwale ANC ke tlo le voutela ka pelo e bohloko hobane ntlo ha o ha enela ha o bale wa rulela ke le voutela ka pelo e bohloko la itseba lona ba utswang le re senya mabitso. My mother used to say, if one or two or more than 3 people say you did something, a re ngwana ka la o tseba hore ha wa etsa o yeme o nke stock o itshebe ANC itekuleng itlhatsweng batho ba le bui hampe le etsa hampe le sebeditse kwa le mashodu a utswang le tšhelete ya di PPE ska la tlontlolang president wa rona mohle hakana ke a leboha ke buile monate ne
Oliver Tambo
Amanda
Oliver Tambo Tambo Usibambu ngasiyeke Oliver Tambo Usibambu ngasiyeke ni Oliver Tambo Angola, 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 Kinara, Kinara ya Fonsolile. Angola, 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 Kinara, Kinara ya Fonsolile. Angola, Angola, Angola.
Relavo. Thank you so much to all our endorsers. Wow, that was amazing. Next up, please welcome to the stage Bradon Laka, a true legend in the world of music, with a career spanning several decades. Bradon is a pioneering figure in South African jazz, as well as a masterful pianist, composer, and producer. I think I can rightfully call him, the godfather of Amapiano and the godfather of Kwaito.
Yeah, Nebebita Kwai jazz. Well, his innovative fusion of traditional African sounds with contemporary jazz has earned him critical acclaim locally and internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, Bradon Laga.
Fellow South Africans, it's been 30 years since we took our first steps to freedom. Since then, as South Africans, millions more people now have access to housing, water, sanitation, education, and an improving social security system. We are renewing our state institutions and turning the tide on corruption together. We are building safer communities and working towards universal access to healthcare for all. We are promoting equity and transformation for an inclusive economy. We are building a better Africa and a better world. So let's do more together. Vote ANC.
A round of applause, distinguished guest, for Bradon Laka. Please, now welcome to stage the Secretary General of the ANC, Comrade Fikile Mbalula.
Vota, vota. Iyabangena. Vota, vota. Iyabangena. Wena uhlalele ni wena. Iyabangena.
One, two. Thank you very much, Program Director, the President of the African National Congress, the Deputy President of the ANC, in absentia because of campaign commitments in Northwest, the National Chair of the ANC also in absentia because of campaign commitments, and all the officials of the ANC present here. I greet NEC members of the ANC. I greet former NEC members of the ANC, and notably, with respect and honor, Comrade Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, who's with us here today, and all other veterans of the African National Congress and leaders and former leaders of the ANC who have joined the campaign, starting with President Mbeki, former Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe, Matthew Posa, former TG, Comrade Tokyo Sigwale, and many other veterans. Lientse batho re ba peinelwe. Nenza abantu baveka buhlungu. And for being in this campaign, it has been a game changer. My task here, comrades and fellow South Africans, is to welcome the President of the ANC to the stage. A man who needs no introduction. Our President, Siyanqoba umavuke ngceni emzabalazweni. He was there in the struggle, in the student movement, leading from the front. He tasted the brutality of the apartheid regime. He was arrested as a student and served time in jail because of the loss of apartheid brutality. The president is a skillful negotiator. It doesn't start with the negotiation process in the country post-1994. It started when he was a leader and the General Secretary of the National Union of Mine Workers. He negotiated a successful package for the mine workers in this country. Comrade Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, and he was given an award by the Swedes and for negotiating for the mine workers. He's a skillful negotiator, a very patient comrade, and I dare say very honest, and doesn't mean he cannot get angry, so ask me. When I worked under him as a minister and many other comrades. But he's a comrade who engages. When you are given a task, he respects you for the task and he engages all the time. And he doesn't just accept everything on the table. He will always ask Mbax, what is this? And then you've got to unpack it. So you know when you go to the president, you must be armed and understand exactly what you are about. And that happens also as a CEO of South Africa, as a President of the Republic, and surrounded by skillful and capable comrades. The ANC have selected carefully, and with the President himself, who worked with the President in the past 5 years. The President is a great thinker, unifying force. He doesn't believe in disruptions. He believes in organization. Things must happen orderly, in sequence and properly. He's not a rabble-rouser and an anarchist, and he's not vengeful. Ungamthetha kakubi, just look at you. And he doesn't comment most of the time about things that get to be said about him. So I say to Nomvula, when I grow up, I want to be like Ramaphosa. Because mna ndinguphumas bethane. So andinqande kaninzi upresident Mbax imakancane. So siyabulela mongameli. We have led this campaign. You have led us from the front. And you have given leadership. And we all follow behind you. And a person who addressed more than 5 rallies in a day, talking to our people door to door, and our people embracing our message through the President. And you have done well, President. And as a President, you have led in a difficult period. There are leaders of the ANC who have done well, who have given leadership and led us brilliantly in this country. And andifuna ubacalula, but you are the only one who confronted a pandemic. And when you are on a journey to implement the recovery plan, and that pandemic, if it was not because of it, I know where we will be in this country. It is Ramaphosa's time. And we are all behind you, Mr. President. Great thinker, unifying force, non-disruptor, but a great leader who embraces us all and to work with him. And who respect human beings, leaders and comrades who work under him. And let's give a great and a good round of applause for our President as we welcome him to the stage. Leaders, Matamela, leaders. Pata Ramaphosa, pata! Pata Ramaphosa, pata! President, I'm the only one who's got a license as the SG.
Thank you. Let's be seated, please. Oh, Ukabil. Amandla. Amandla. Let us be seated. Uzawubonga ngomso. Niyabasaba na? No, kwangathi niyabasaba. Niyabasaba na? Program directors, the leadership of the African National Congress, the officials, as well as the National Executive Committee, the chairperson of Gauteng, Panyaza Lusufi, as well as the chairpersons of some of our provinces who are here present, various leaders of various organizations who are with us tonight. I'd like to thank former Deputy President Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka for being present here amongst us as well. I spent the better time of day with her today in Soweto, when we were walking with young people mostly, together with our Premier of Gauteng in Vilakazi Street, going to inform our former president, Nelson Mandela, in spirit that the ANC is going to demonstrate tomorrow that it is ready for victory. It reminded us of the 27th of April 1994, when President Nelson Mandela went to the gravesite of the first president of the African National Congress, John Langalebale Dube, to go and report and say that we waged a struggle for 82 years, and I've come to report to you, as the very first president, he said, that that struggle that you launched officially in 1912 has been successful. Today, what we found reminiscent of that type of action was when we went to Vilakazi Street, the only street in the whole world that was the home of 2 Nobel laureates. And we basked in the memory of both Utatu Madiba and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And we informed Utatu Madiba, as the former president of the ANC, that we are going to declare to all and sundry tomorrow at the Siyanqoba rally, which will be attended by well over 100,000 people, that the ANC is on the march of victory. And thank you very much. Tonight, I was not really meant to speak. I'm going to speak tomorrow at the Siyanqoba rally. I came just to come and listen to the endorsements and to listen to those who are urging South Africans to vote for the ANC. And I must say that the endorsements that we have heard tonight reinforces the confidence and support that we encountered during the campaign. As we went through the length and the breadth of the country for a solid 8 weeks, we were able to listen very carefully to what our people were saying. And some of those things I will touch on tomorrow as we outline to our people what they said to us. The endorsements tonight are humbling. I want to thank each one of those who came forward to endorse the ANC. This is the real highlight of tonight's event. We are humbled. I am especially humbled to hear each one of those who spoke bravely, confidently, and outspokenly saying that they endorse the ANC and they are going to vote for the ANC. Let us give them a round of applause. And I want to say that I particularly listened to each one of the people who endorsed. We don't have the time now to go through some of the messages that were beaming here. And it covered more or less every sector of South African life, from business, from medical to sports, entrepreneurs, and new entrepreneurs like my sister here, who's a jeweler, who said she would like to be my jeweler. My dearest sister, I think you're not only going to be my jeweler, you're going to be a jeweler to many people who were really impressed with what you had to say. To a traditional leader, Dr. Skoteni. Oh, my sister, I wish, Nami, you can give me a sick note. Sengizawuza kuwe for isick note. You know, this campaign has been so invigorating. And USG, wekhuluma kamnandi la. And intetho yakhe inhle. And yazibuza ukuthi hayi USG kazi ufuna i-cabinet position kathi. But I welcome ukuthi he was being very genuine. SG was talking about, not only myself, by the way, many of us. The national chair came to see me before he went to his other engagement and said, President Nitiniwe, I've been at this for the entire campaign period, and many of us were indeed addressing 4, 5, 6 rallies and meetings throughout this period. It was a most invigorating campaign, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I remembered that this is when I am at my best as well. So I really enjoyed being on this campaign. Earlier today, I was saying to my family that I'm so sorry it's coming to an end, because I was enjoying just interacting with our people. I'd like to thank those who even spoke openly about the engagements that we have had. For instance, my sister Okoni, engaging sex workers has been one of the real highlights of one's job. Yesterday, I was interacting with young people, young professionals. My sister, you'll be pleased to hear that this young professional young man stood up and said, Mr. President, one of the ways in which we can even increase our tax collections is to legalize sex work. So that's what he said. And then, not that the two are linked, but he said we should legalize cannabis as well. And please, the two are not linked. They are completely de-linked, but that's what a young man said. And today in Soweto, the president of the Youth League, ANC Youth League, said something that I didn't know was prevalent. He said, President, unemployment is really affecting various aspects of our lives, particularly ourselves as young people. Asisakwazi nokujola. So I wondered, Tuguti, what has that got to do with it? He said he's going to write me a paper to explain fully how that affects even love affairs. So we've run a very good campaign, a very, very highly profiled campaign, and it was largely so because our people were involved. And so that we understand where we came from. Before we even drafted our manifesto, we first decided as the leadership of the ANC that we should not think that we have all the wisdom in the world. We should not think that we have all the answers. What we should first do is to go to our people. And we then sent our leaders, both national, provincial, regional, as well as local, throughout the length and the breadth of the country. It was to do two things: to go and ask our people to evaluate the ANC's performance, to evaluate the extent to which we implemented the 2019 manifesto. And we said to our people, be robust and be vigorous in unpacking it, and don't mince your words. Be as direct and as clear as you possibly can be, and be as critical as you would like to be. We launched it at Dobsonville, this whole process, and thereafter it cascaded down to all the structures of the ANC. But so we all know, it did not only end in the structures of the ANC, it also went into our communities through community engagement, sectoral community meetings. It was a most thorough process. And SG, if one has to really applaud the work of a renewed ANC, this has been part of the renewal process, the thorough and deep engagement that we have had with our people. And we'd like to thank the Secretary General's office and the organizing department in going to great lengths to ensure that the consultation process on the evaluation of our past manifesto was as thorough and as deep and as broad as you made it to happen. Thank you very much, because it really did pay great dividends. I say it paid great dividends because that was the foundation for the drafting of our manifesto. Our manifesto was not plucked out of the air, and our manifesto was not drafted in libraries or in universities. It was drafted by our people. It was during those sessions where our people were very critical, and they pointed out mistakes and shortcomings that we had made. Sis Lillian, you are absolutely right. There are areas where we've been weak, and we have been very upfront in saying there are mistakes that we committed, and our people pointed those out. But that was the strength of the whole process of drafting our manifesto. It enabled us to come up with the ideas, and during the drafting of that manifesto, we also knew that we want to do many things. There were like 200 things that we wanted to do, but in the end, wisdom prevailed, and it became clear that we needed to focus just on 6 things, 6 priorities. And the topmost of them all is the one problem that faces almost 11 million South Africans: jobs, unemployment, and not having any life-supporting type of earning for many of our people. That was singled out as the most important top priority, and we came up with a jobs plan. And it is this jobs plan that we've been propagating around the country and telling our people in very practical terms what it is that we are going to engage in. And I'm glad that even the BBC the Black Business Council is coming out in big support of an ANC-led 7th administration. So thank you very much for that. And why I single you out, Ndade Elias Monache, is because you bravely stand here, and I admired that. You say you lead an organization that has 2 million black businesses and black entities. And you add and say that those business leaders, those business operators, and their families are going to vote for the ANC. Serikreile 2 million votes. Thank you very much. We are very appreciative of that. So our manifesto is a manifesto that is really going to take South Africa forward. I have become so convinced as we have gone through the length and the breadth of the country, meeting our people in their homes, in meeting places in the veld, in the streets, in meeting halls and churches, and wherever we have met them in traditional crawls and what have you. And in everything that we have discussed, I've become convinced that we do have a real plan, a plan that is implementable and a plan that is executable. Once again, Sis Lillian, that's precisely what we are going to be able to do, to implement our plans. And over the 30 years, we have learned a great deal. The 30 years have consolidated our knowledge base. The 30 years have given us the wherewithal, the framework to be able to do things. We've made mistakes in the 30 years, and we've learned from those mistakes. And those mistakes range from a whole number of things. SG, you said, yes, the 6th administration, which I lead until a few days from now, was faced with enormous challenges. Challenges that the previous administrations were never really faced by, including the apartheid era, did not have to face or didn't face the challenges that we faced. And just to count a few, state capture was an overriding and overarching challenge. And the best part of what South Africans do is that as they saw the specter of state capture, they said, this does not define us. We will not succumb to state capture. And our people rose through their various organizations, marched in the street and said, state capture must be stopped. And we have stopped state capture. We have made sure that the capture of SARS was reversed. We have made sure that the capture of the NPA was reversed. And we are repositioning various state-owned enterprises. We are repositioning our various government departments. And we are rooting out corruption. Today was another wonderful day in the office because I signed 2 bills. I signed 2 bills that address 2 scourges in our country. One, which I dubbed the second pandemic, gender-based violence. And a number of people who endorsed today also spoke about gender-based violence. Today, I signed the bill to set up the National Council on Gender-Based Violence, which is going to allow our women, the women of South Africa, are now going to have the full capability to work together with the men of our country to rid our country of gender-based violence. And the ANC has put gender-based violence as one of the sub-priorities in our manifesto to make sure that we rid our country of gender-based violence and get the men of this country to respect women, to recognize the role that is played by women, and to empower the women of our country. So today, my day was made. I signed that bill into act, and I'm a very happy man. And when I signed it, I said, this makes me a really happy president. And tonight, I am a happy president. The other one that I also signed was on corruption, on inaugurating or giving the investigating directorate under the NPA an independent role to play to investigate corruption, to make sure that we really get to the bottom of incidents of corruption. And we have now made it a permanent structure, and it is already working and addressing the issue of corruption. Why do I single out the 2? And for me, it was important to have these 2 signed publicly, to have them signed publicly, like the National Health Insurance. And of course, I did comment when I signed them. I said, I signed the NHI, and soon thereafter, there was a wave of opposition. And I hope this time there will be a wave of support as I sign the 2. And already I can glean from the applause you are giving that you are applauding the signing of these 2 acts. That is now the law of South Africa, to have these two acts. And the reason one speaks about it tonight, much as I didn't really want to speak, I speak about it because as we went through the length and the breadth of our country, gender-based violence was raised by a number of people. The young women in our country kept saying, we don't feel safe. We don't feel safe from a criminality point of view, but also from a point of view of gender-based violence. And a number of people raised the issue of corruption. Mrs. Lillian raised it here. Mrs. Lillian Dube, when she spoke, she raised the issue of people who are corrupt, who steal public money and all that. The issue of corruption has been raised, and we have said we are addressing it. And as it is now, many people are facing trial, and we have regained 6 billion rand of money that was stolen during state capture. And that means, yes, it is being addressed. And so the many priorities that we have to address are being addressed, that we set out in our manifesto. We are also very clear and firm on the one other event that took place this afternoon at The Hague. We went for the third time again to The Hague in support of the people of Palestine. And we said, you will recall we went the first time. And the first time, the court was a bit hesitant in giving an injunction that the state of Israel must stop the genocidal acts that it was perpetrating against the people of Gaza. And the state of Israel gloated and said, they have not told us to stop. Even some of the Northern Hemisphere countries, they even said, well, the International Court did not say there should be a ceasefire and the acts of attack against Palestinians should stop. We went back a second time and we said the slaughter of Palestinians continues and we would like the court to intervene. And we have decided to utilize what we believe is the most important entity in the world, the International Court of Justice, which works under the aegis of the United Nations. And still the International Court was iffy. But this time, just last week, we approached the court again as we saw the state of Israel now getting into Rafah and pushing more than 800,000 Palestinians from their homes and attacking Rafah, killing people on a daily basis deliberately. We went to that court with another request that they must direct the state of Israel to now stop. And today the court ruled that yes, the state of Israel must now stop and it must open. Now, obviously, as a law-abiding country in the world, we expect the state of Israel to stop. We expect them to now cease their operations and to also open up the pathway for humanitarian assistance to get into Rafah, to get into Gaza through Rafah and the other entry points. This has also been identified as a key priority to build a better Africa and a better world. And this is where, in this term of office, we have really done much to lift the image and the profile and the standing of South Africa in world affairs. That we have done. What we've also done is to put South Africa at the leading point of leading the global South. The Global South has many powerful countries. We are very small country of just 62 million and a GDP of just, my sister said 399. We're now $460 billion GDP country. And we are a small country, but we punch above our weight, and we will continue to do so. Some people, even amongst us, said that we've got a loud mouth. And believe you me, we will continue having a loud mouth as a small country. So that we are not going to shy away from. Yes, Elias Monache spoke about our role in ensuring that the Africa Continental Free Trade Area comes into existence. South Africa was deeply involved in the crafting of that free trade area. What it does is to open up the whole continent, a market of 1.3 billion people, to South African companies. This is now the opportunity for our companies, small, medium, and large, to make things, to provide services to the rest of the continent. Yes, my sister, Sis Maralo, stands here and says it was the ANC that opened up the doors for her to go international. My sister, yes, indeed, we are very proud to have done that, to have opened up the entire continent. Even Dr. Skoteni says she now goes all over and gives sick notes to people all over the world. Siyabonga lokho. But what we have now done with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is to open up the continent and to say the continent is now yours to trade with for many products, not all products, for many products on a free trade, on a free tariff area basis rather, where your goods, you can set the price for your goods and the exchange obviously will play a role, but you don't need to pay a tariff. In other words, your goods can be in demand in many countries on the continent, and tariffs are not going to be a drawback for you to trade with the continent. So we are grateful for that. My sister also spoke about the NHI, that they're very pleased, and my few sisters spoke about it, about the NHI. We are very proud that after an 81-year struggle of having universal health coverage, the African National Congress finally has achieved a national health insurance. It's going to take time to implement, but the NHI is here and it is here to stay for the people of South Africa. So we're very delighted. We're also delighted that we opened up the doors of sports, our sporting legends. We heard my brother Max Maponyane speaking here, that yes, the competition, whilst it was there, was not sufficient. They needed to compete with some of the best in the world. And today, we compete with the rest of the world, and we win, and we become world champions. In rugby, our women go and win the Africa Cup for women, and our swimmers, and our athletes. Usombini, God ran 100 meters, 9.90 seconds. One of the best in the world. He does that because we have opened the doors. We've also opened the doors of learning. One of you also spoke as you endorsed. You spoke about what the African National Congress has done for education. And many people hardly ever really sit back and realize, Oti, the two original sins that were committed against the majority of people in our country were land dispossession, which led not only to land, but also to asset dispossession, which was the theft, the robbery, the complete dispossession of our people that resulted in the poverty that many of our families are laboring under today. The other one was education, Bantu education. And these were the most terrible sins that can ever be committed against a people. We had them committed against us. Now, one of you spoke about education. We are rebuilding our education. And we are not only saying, yes, there should be free school, fee-paying free schools and support for students. And one of my brothers here spoke about getting NSFAS, the baritone singer or the opera singer and all that. It is about revolutionizing our education system, disinfecting it of apartheid legacy and making it a world-class education system. And that in itself is going to take years. And the African National Congress has embarked on this journey to make sure that, yes, it happens. We are a wonderful country to have a taxi driver coming to stand here and articulate that we have an association of taxi drivers and we want to improve the livelihood of taxi drivers so that, like other workers, they should be treated well. They transport 70% of commuters in our country. So they need also to be taken care of. They need their interests to be safeguarded. And we do also need to treat them with the respect because they play a very key and important role. So for the ANC to be also endorsed by taxi drivers, wow, we are going to win this election. So comrades, I could speak much longer, but I do want, with a great deal of humility, to thank all of you for being here. Your mere presence here is to endorse the African National Congress. And tomorrow we will speak at greater length when we address the nation about the impending victory of the African National Congress. Earlier today, when I was in Vilakazi Street, I said, I can smell the sweet smell of victory. And yes, I can smell victory. I can feel it, I can touch it, and I can see it. It is coming our way. And your presence here speaks to the victory that the ANC is going to achieve. Many have been saying, people are having this sense that it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. What I can say is that the ANC is not the devil. The ANC is the organization of our people. So yes, it's better the organization you know than the organization you don't know. So I say those who say the devil, please don't equate the ANC with the devil. I want to thank you, one and all, for being present here. And I also want to thank a number of you, Vivian, and a number of business people who are here, for having supported the ANC. And a number of you who are here have given financial support, and would like to thank you. And thank you. Let's give those a big round of applause. You know, when we started this campaign, with a law that we passed in Parliament, which makes people to declare what they've given to the ANC and limits them, it got many people to be afraid to fund the ANC. But it also, there were a number of people who by mere association felt that they should stay away from the ANC. And through the PBF, which I would also like to applaud, and also applaud the work that the TG has been playing in all this, and say, TG, you've really done a good job. You have helped to carry this campaign through the many initiatives that you have led us in and you have embarked upon. And the PBF has really been a strong pillar. And I'd like to say to those who have not yet signed up to be members of the PBF, it is a really good forum to belong to, because more than anything else, it is a forum that has demonstrated that it can have exchanges at a very high intellectual level on a whole number of things that we do, not only in government, but in the country as well. So we thank the PBF and we thank each one of you. And so I'd like to thank you and say, please be there tomorrow as you join almost 100,000 people who will be present at the Siyanqoba rally, when we will be pre-celebrating the victory of the African National Congress. And we will be doing so that those who look down on us, ba re tellang, re kgalemele lenyatso, le fele, go ska ba le lenyatso, le ntse le le teng, where people have been saying, oh no, they are going to be below 50%, they are going to be in coalition with this one and that one. And we heard it was my brother Petika Ntuli or Vivian Reddy who said these coalitions, they always do not work. So Rona, we are not in these elections for a coalition. We are for an outright victory of the African National Congress. So thank you very much for being here.
Please welcome ANC Treasurer General, Comrade Dr. Gwen Ramokopa, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling me to extend a vote of thanks, but I think the President has done a good job. I think let's give the President a round of applause. I will ask the President to remain and invite all officials of the ANC, SG, first and second DSG, as well as the head of elections, Comrade Mduli, to join me on stage. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sir President Asibuletseng ke la ka leo. Thank you.
Bakala
guests, please travel home safely. And please remember to collect your parking ticket as you leave tonight. But first, we party with DJ Oskido.
I wanna be there when the people start to turn it around, when they triumph over poverty. I wanna be there when the people win the battle against AIDS. I wanna lend a hand. I wanna be there for the alcoholic. I wanna be there for the drug addict. I wanna be there for the victims of violence and abuse. I wanna lend a hand. Say to Mommy now, to Mommy now, as he said, he's so young, he's to Mommy now, to Mommy now, as he said, he's so young, he's I wanna be there when the people win the battle against AIDS. I wanna lend a hand. I wanna be there for the victims of violence